Hi, today I want to talk about the growing influence of hate in America. Hate is one of the race in the United States in 2017. The national attention was focused on Charlie last month during a violent neo-Nazi, the white people protests, which resulted in a white suspect driving his car into a court of counter-protester, killing one person and injuring dozens more. However, there have been more number other protests and movements organized by hate groups in recent months, targeting devices a range of demographic and cultural groups in the United States. Understanding more about the state of many hate groups in the country today and learning more about how social both forwards and fight back against the spirit of the hateful ideological. It's important for the continued rule of the law in United States social. Based on the analytical evidence in the country today, hate groups are growing in number and power while also finding common group root in hate to until over and promoting people on both sides of the political spirit to question how best to respond. Hate groups have rapidly grown in number and become more vocal in their hateful rhetoric very recently, although hate groups has existed in one form or another in the United States and other countries in the world throughout history. The current state of American hate groups is being more actually violent and powerful, even compared to past times of conflict in American history, as seen here in the graph from Arduous and the South Political Law Center refers to the first one. Here I can show the pictures. The number of hate groups across many different territories has grown universally between 2015 and 2016, especially when it comes to anti-Muslim hate groups, which rose from their smallest group on the graph in 2015 to the largest group on the graph in 2016. And the number of hate groups has increased across the board. The influence that these hate groups are available to via in the United States and elsewhere around the world has grown as well. The director of the Southern Poverty Law Center noted in all the years of tracking, we have never seen this many hate groups. We have never seen their ideas portraying the mainstream the way they are. With social media most prevalent than ever and hate groups harmless its research, there has been a regressive in the way why hate groups have been able to get their very specific brand or hateful ideological into everyday social negative impact the health and security of American life. Checking the processing of hate groups in this country is only part of the battle in fighting back against and hateful ideas, as hate groups have also begun to adapt more to modern society. In addition, certain hate groups are coming together and expand growing their power over shared hate for groups like African Americans, Jews, Muslim, and number of the LGBT community, as seen here in the chart from CNN and Southern. I have the verso to for the photo I can show you. So, while black groups represent the large single of the total hate groups population in this country, other groups including the Shaky, neo-Nazi, neo-conformists, while nationalist and anti-Muslim groups when taken together represent more than three-quarters of all hate groups in the United States today. As domination of by the John Elwright protests, their smaller hate groups are untuling over common hate of the other and the passion for assuming the doctrine of the straight white man. These groups are not only providing the social construction of the country in new thematic events like the incredible effectiveness at the featuring their message and the ideas in small and less noticed way. It's no burden of the total number of flyers passed out by hate groups on college campus in recent years. Most of these flyers were passed out by organizations with the alternative right, a largely key movement of far-right groups that includes white nationalists, neo-Nazi, and others. These hate groups serve as key compounds of the alt-right movement, are focused on spreading their message and reacting as many Americans to their side as possible in an effort to cement themselves even further in the American. In dealing with these groups, many have criticized organizations like the Southern Political Law Center for dominates central groups unfairly. Those meeting into Lawrence with into it, while others believe calling out of hate is the best way forward. The United States has long valued freedom of a way for speech as one of certain of the countries. So many believes the labeling groups who use black as hate groups unfairly inform upon their rights to freedom of speech, refusing the Southern approach. Confucius says it's too quick to label organization and individual as hate groups or extremists for opposing lesbian, gay, transgender, and crime rights. The Southern Poetry Law Center has apologized in the past of speaking out to harass against certain groups, but those speaking out to hash increase are the expectation rather than a rule. Many who support the Southern Poetry Law Center and other organizations who focus on promoting civil rights and opposing hate groups in the United States believe that Speaking out against hateful rhetoric is required in order to prevent future and risk of violence movement forward. Members of hate groups have, when they feel support from the general public, the few acts through acts have more leeway with their actions in public. In fact, one of the main organizers of violent allied rights protests, we have energy, I think, because Donald Trump's election shows the measure of white Americans' social, working class Americans' beliefs in safe, whether President Trump intend to feature rhetoric there made members of white supremacist hate groups feel more support. The kind of support members of these hate groups felt following his lead and bound there to take bolder action like the violent protests. Groups like the Southern Political Law Center functioning in incredibly important way in order to push back against whatever support hate groups feel they're receiving in social and giving a voice of those who find the actions and ideas promoted by those hate groups to the American way of life. Unlimitedly, the best response to deal with this rise in hate in the United States is to call out hate whenever and wherever it exists, and to counter hateful action with one rule in inclusive kindness and understanding. While not perfect organizations like the Southern Poly Law Center are doing a great deal to diminish the influence of which hate groups have in the United States by tracking hate groups and pushing to learn more about how they function and look to spirit their hateful ideological. Although hate groups is not unique to one political party, the way in which many of the hate groups which compose the alt-right have united behind a shared hatred for the others, and a shared desire for white people to regain the power they believe has been taken from them in recent years should be troubling to everyone who values core tenets of American life. The good news is that official hate groups membership remains related, though, with only a few thousand people making up each. However, if these groups are left unchecked and allowed to feature, normalize their hateful ideological in society, hate groups can become an even more potent problem for this generation and all future generations to come. Thank you. This is my presentation.